electronics and automobile industry. They started to produce things with a better quality and cheaper. So Juran was quickly called back to America, and the first American company that utilized his services or applied his principle was IBM. Incidentally, this is the Calcutta house of IBM. What did they realize? They realized that, well, the computers were in infancy then, possibly housed as huge things. They realized that 80, 90 or 100% of people who were using the computers were trying to access only 20% of what was there. So what did they do? They simply rewrote their program in such a manner that that 20% became easily accessible. Oh, that worked wonders. Immediately, the computer became more user-friendly, it became cheaper, it became faster, it became smaller in size. Very soon, other computer giants like whatever Intel, Lotus, Microsoft, they all followed suit. And here is a industry where, which is probably utopian in the sense that unless they are 100% efficient at all times, they will not survive. Alright, so these are the various names that this principle has got. The law of the vital few, as somebody mentioned, let me complete the sentence, and the trivial plenty, right? The few, 20%, they are vital. They give you 80, 90 or 100% of output. The trivial plenty, 80%, which give you zero value, negligible value. Or let's just pause and take stock of what we've said so far. So this is what we've tried to say, that people in any institution, 20% will give you 80% or more. Similar is true for the causes, for efforts, for your clients. Now look at the top line. What do we need to do? At whatever stage of life we are, we need to identify whether one is a student, one is a teacher, an industrialist, a professor. He needs to identify his 20%. That may not be so difficult. After that, you need to focus all your energies on working around that, whether it is monetary resources, structural resources, everything that you have goes towards improving that 20%. And you will realize that progress will multiply. It is not going to be additive. It is going to be synergistic. It will just multiply. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the basis of this principle. Now, the principle has been divided into two aspects. As per management jargon, they call it the 80-20 analysis and the 80-20 thinking. I will focus myself on the thinking part. Now, but the analysis is equally important. What happens? This is what we've said so far. So what do the senior managers in any setup need to do? Now let me tell you that the analysis is very precise. It is based on information. It will provide facts, and it is going to be quantitative in nature. So what do the senior managers, let's take a small hospital for example. Again, you have the same situation. It's true that 20% of people are giving you 80%, but you want it to get a little better. The senior managers get a little more proactive, get a few more guys who are sitting on the fence on to giving you more than the 20% that they have been giving you. And this hospital is still capable of having a brand value, having a break-free environment, ensuring quality care, getting the accreditation by the national health bodies of India, and winning the local trophy. Alright? That's what I've said. Okay. Alright. But what is the aim of the senior managers? They need to do two things. First of all, what do they do with those 20% who are already giving them 95% output? They need to give them a shabash. Make sure that they remain motivated. You can't whip a horse and expect it to gallop beyond its thing. You've got to be very careful as a senior manager when you take punitive action against this lot. Because they are doing everything, they will make that odd error. So keep that in mind. At the same time, what is probably more important is this. The dart has to hit the bullseye, which is getting the rest of the 80% on the bandwagon. Now just imagine, if this hospital was, the bar for this hospital was at this level, if the rest of the 80%, instead of 20% output, start giving 30 or 40%, where will the bar go? Surely everybody will agree when I say that the bar is going to go there. And this hospital now is going to compete with the best in the country and will have recognition all over the world. It will win more than the local trophies. That is as far as the analysis is concerned. Now, what about the thinking? Thinking is a little fuzzy. Right? Whilst I told you that the analysis is very precise, let me also tell you that thinking is a little fuzzy. But this thinking is based on thought, the 80-20 thinking. So therefore, it has a lot of insight. And because anything has insight, will be qualitative in nature. That is what we need to. I shall now give you a series of examples, starting with some small ones of daily life, and then go on to some more serious examples. So, let's, we all have wardrobes. We have 8 or 10 shirts and maybe a few sets of trousers. When we go for that occasion, which has a value of 80 or 90%, when I go to my boss's house, for example, I wear one of those 2 shirts which I have kept aside. Their value of those 20% shirts is 80 or 90%, right? The ladies will have that handbag which is matching and sandals which hopefully they use only for wearing and nothing else. But we also in the army have 1 or 2 sets of uniforms which I keep in my cupboard, always ready. In case there is a sudden kind of an interacting officer, I am able to put on my number 1 uniform. Okay, quickly run through some examples. We all have carpets, rugs at home. Well, you know, the ones which are oriental and they are straight and looking, those are the ones which keep in our drawing room. When people walk in, they see that rug over there. And in the guest room maybe. But the ones that you keep outside your toilet and in your living room are the ones which, so the value of those 20% drugs is really 80 or 90%, okay? Alright. Telephone calls, I have my very strong views of it, don't mind this, but I find that out of the 8 or 9 official working hours, we tend to waste 45 minutes, 1 hour, just uska kya ho raha hai, iska kya ho raha hai. So I have given instruction to my PA, maybe today, to filter the calls that he puts through me. At the end of the day, at 2 o'clock, he'll come back with all the calls that I have not accepted. Alright, fair enough. Also, I must tell you that I make 1 or 2 calls. I know hundreds of friends, all of you, but I make 1 or 2 calls every evening to those people who come in my 20%. And before I do that, I want to spend quality time with them. They are 20% people, they don't want to waste time. So I prepare what I'm going to talk with them. And I have something to give to them. So I get something in return. Reading again. When we were doing our post-graduation, we used to read volumes of such ambiguous stuff. Phase 2 trials, phase 3 trials, at the end of it, nothing came around. What was it? Now, if you have a set of 20 journals, you will find what you're looking for in maybe 4 journals. And if you scan through them, you look at the introduction, you look at the meat of what you're looking for will again be in 20% of those 4 journals. So, again, some of us are accident prone. Most of us go through life without an accident. Pardon, the ladies are less accident prone. I must apologize to them. Just one of those pictures. But there are some people who will have repeated accidents. So 80% of the accidents in recorded times are by 20% of people. This is the Times of India Sunday edition of Bareilly. And in Bareilly we have, like in most, I'm sure Ludhiana is much better, but we have 2 Chowki Charaha and Ayub Khan. And I am amazed that those are bottlenecks and nobody seems to be doing anything about them. All you've got to do is to put extra 4 or 5 traffic police during the peak hours, maybe from 10 in the morning to 1 o'clock, and maybe again once office hours get over. And you'll find that, whenever I travel between Rampur and between Delhi and Bareilly, it's just 200 odd kilometers. I'm scared that I might be stuck at a place called Rampur, where there is a queue of trucks which may be 5 kilometers long. So, just thinking, alright, just thing that came to my mind. If you divide Ludhiana into 5 zones, 20% each, there are gangs which are operating and it's their ilaka. So if General Saab ka kuch chori ho jata hai, the police boss knows whose ilaka that is and you will get it back within a few hours. This is a very sort of surprisingly nice example. You burn 100 tons of coal and eventually it is only 20 tons in an internal combustion engine which is giving you 100% results. 100% result means the turning of the wheels. Eventually the energy produced by only 20% goes to the final outcome. Okay, movies, we all know that whatever Dirty Picture and Kahani, she single-handedly made these movies earn crores. And I am a fan of this man. And despite what he said in Secretary about doctors, but still, we are arguably still the noblest profession. But he will, whether it's the 3 Idiots or whether it is any movie, it's Amir Khan. And here's one person who's getting you 100% revenues. There was a gentleman called Steven Spielberg who's come back this year with Lincoln. He's got the best director. When in the 90s, he used to earn more than the rest of the directors, much more put together. So, like I said, it's 20% of your people who are responsible for 80% of the sales, and it is 20% of those very fancy ladies, my wife included, who will be responsible for purchasing 80%. So you better give them an extra coke. Alright, this when I was doing the optional logistics plan, just for your information, 20% of the casualties are the ones who really require treatment. The rest of them will either be alright or will unfortunately die. It is these 20% that require surgical intervention. If we can get to them in time, we will save their lives. When Mr. Dinesh Trivedi was the Minister for Railways, I heard him speak. He wanted 5,500 crores. He wanted to increase the cost and it would have earned him a revenue of 5,500 crores. But he asked the government for 45,000. And it was really when I was listening to his interview. They asked him, why is it that you want what you are asking the government for 45,000 and this is going to get you 5,500 and a bad name? So he said, we have 1 lakh kilometers of railways, rail lines in our country. But if I can improve the state of 20,000 kilometers, it is going to affect 80% of commuters. So you can work it out. Those who are metros in Bombay and all that, it would have affected 80%. So just see how true this thing. I read in it was in the like India last year, 90% of tax evasion is by, they named 20 people over there. Alright, coming down to some of the more serious examples now. That was just to give you a